Hello there, guys. Just wanted to make a maybe not so quick video today. Several things to go over. Um, First off, I said a couple videos ago that I wanted to show off what the hand would look like. Sorry, I got my hand tattooed a few weeks ago. Almost been 2 weeks anyway. For the third time, the fingers anyway. The actual hand's been done like 7 or 8 times. Got my fingers done anyway. Blacked out about a week and a half, a little over a week and a half ago, and it's still in the process of peeling. So it does take quite a while to peel, but this is what it looks like for now. Um, you can see I have this weird callus on my finger here that it just does not want to take the ink. Even when we're tattooing the fingers, there's almost no sensation. But pretty black overall. Like this is pretty good. Most of it's peeled. Like the knuckles still got to peel a little bit. They're going to be a little bit lighter than the rest of it, but overall that's pretty good for a third pass. Um, it's never probably going to be quite as dark, but for comparison, um, here it is against my shoulder and chest area. It'll never be quite as consistent as most of my other black work. That's not really even my goal. Um, I have pretty realistic expectations of it. Um, it's going to be a little while before I tattoo it again, just because I want to give it a break. It's taking longer to heal this time than it did the last couple times, and it's just a lot to take off time for work and stuff like that. I want to let it heal and kind of see what it does, and before eventually doing a fourth and probably even fifth pass, um, and then whatever touch-ups over the years to come. Who can say? I'll keep working on it. I don't give up on these things. I remember the first time I tattooed my fingers, like 5 6 months ago. I had people on my Instagram going on and on about how it won't stay and blah 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 about how you can't keep that kind of saturation on fingers. Well, let me tell you, I'm not a quitter. I've never been a quitter. If I decide I'm going to do something, it's going to get done. Um, Whether that takes multiple times or not. Uh, Part of the kind of journey or the quest or whatever you want to call it that I'm on with body modification is all about learning. Sometimes it's less about learning myself, and sometimes it's more about learning myself, but sometimes it's more about seeing what can be done and how far I can go with something before I'm done with it or before it's too far for me or whatever the case. Yeah, there's a lot of learning and there's a lot of rocking things back and forth. So don't expect, for anyone who's wondering, don't expect me to give up on this finger blackout project. It's gonna get as black as you can make fingers get by the time I'm done. Yeah, this little area included. She does not like to take the ink. Something people ask me all the time on pictures of my hand is if I'm gonna tattoo my palms and when am I gonna tattoo the other one? Well, I'll answer both of those. All things in time. It would be irresponsible for all kinds of reasons for me to tattoo the whole palm black. The same time I tattoo the top of my hand black when I have to work for a living and I have bills that need to be paid and I have responsibilities to people and I can't just be done for weeks on end. So basically I plan my vacations around my body mods a lot of the time. So when I take big chunks of time off, it's almost certain that I'm going to get something a little debilitating done while I'm away. So there's that. Hold on. Sorry. Um, Another thing is I'm not going to start banging away on these fingers until these fingers are done properly. It's just kind of like, why would I make all that mess on another hand when I'm not done dealing with the mess I've got on my first one, right? Also, another thing about this hand is I think I've told the story before, but it had all kinds of infection and all kinds of pain in there from a tattoo about 2 years ago. Um, so it's always really risky to work on that hand, there's a lot of scar tissue in there, like tons of scar tissue you can see on the knuckles if you close up on it. It's something you can't really tell unless you know what you're looking for. But it's a lot of pain in there, and it takes a lot longer to heal, and there's a greater risk for problems in that hand than the left hand. Anytime you're getting both hands done, expect your dominant hand to be the harder one to heal, I would say, is a safe bet. Another quick thing I wanted to touch up on was I had been rambling about my labret piercing and whether it was comfortable or not, if it dug in, and all those kinds of things. It's actually doing really well. This is the most comfortable my labret has been in, I'm going to say, over a year and a half. So I don't think I need to get a different piece for it. I think this is going to be just fine. Yeah, eventually I may go up a size. I've said 20 millimeter was going to be my goal size for my septum and my labret. And for my septum, I still think that's true. But my labret looks like it could maybe go a size up or two yet. I don't know, but I haven't made any decision on that yet. I obviously haven't ordered another piece of jewelry, and once you order a piece of jewelry, it's all custom made, and that'll take 2 or 3 months before it gets here even. But I haven't even gone as far as to like order it yet, so we'll see if that happens or not. I think part of it is I just like stretching piercings. I've gotten so used to stretching piercings over the years. The idea that I've stretched a piercing for the last time is tough for me. But I have been talking with a piercer who's apprenticing me about doing conch piercings, and maybe I'll gradually stretch those just kind of as like a little passion side project. I like to have something on the go, right? And that would be a different hole to stretch. And I get my fix without going any bigger on the holes I already have, which are pretty big anyway. Like in my 17 millimeter cartilage video, I believe I said that this cartilage here can't be stretched anymore. It's already sort of warping the dimensions of my ear. For whatever reason, the two sides didn't stretch the same way, even though they were pierced in the same place. So in the right ear, I have a bit of bowing where the skin has gotten thin. And in the left ear, I have all kinds of space left to go up, but I won't risk either side because I would never want to tear my cartilage piercings. Not just because of the way they would look torn, but also because of the work I put into them. So they're at their limits. This whole ear is at its limit. This ear has some room to go, but like I say, better off just starting some new projects than fucking up my old ones. Sorry. Anyway, what else? My tattoo appointment this week. The whole reason I wanted to make this video, for the most part. So I got my head tattooed again. I got the back of it done. Let's turn and maybe it showed off. I had this done before, the filigree in the back. It was all red before, red with some white highlights. Same as the rose up there. I just wanted to make it more connected so that it fits better with the suit that I have these days as opposed to my old suit. The back of the head is fairly easy to sit through, and it's probably the easiest appointment I've had in quite a while, really. I can't remember an easier appointment in months, so there was that. But we had intended on doing the rose and the filigree. Time got thin. It was, like I said, it wasn't particularly painful. I could have definitely sat for the rest of it, but my artist was had someone coming in, so we'll finish it this coming week. I haven't shaved in a few days, obviously, which drives me nuts because normally I shave every day just to keep it as bald as possible, but obviously when you're healing tattoos you can't shave over them for a little while. But anyway, I'm rambling. Yeah, the back of the head doesn't feel that bad. It does swell a little bit, and it bleeds a lot. Anytime you get anything tattooed on your head, it's very very vascular, very bloody. So you always leave a little lightheaded. And then sleeping is always obviously a problem. I got I have one of those travel pillows that I use when I get my head tattooed. So in this case, I had the travel pillow kind of the back of it's up here and the sides are hanging down here. Now, when I get the rose tattooed, I'll have the travel pillow down more around my neck, and it's just good to have stuff like that if you're going to be getting all parts of you tattooed. You never know when it's going to come in handy. I've had more problems sleeping because of tattoos than anything really. So anyway, yeah, not super painful. Really quick heal too. Head tattoos tend to heal really quick. It's already peeling. That was probably evident when I turned around. I don't know. I know when I showered there was quite a bit of flakage going on. So yeah, and it's only been 4 days, so super quick heal, as opposed to the hand, which is almost 2 weeks and still not fully peeled. So that's another thing to plan about tattoos. Some things heal faster than others. It's not always obvious, and our bodies can be different too when it comes to healing. But as always, what happened when I posted the back of my head was black instead of red. I had a lot of people parrot the same question that I get all the time, or not even question, almost like an accusation, because it almost seems angry or inquisitive. Like the question is, now, are you blacking out your head? Are you going to make your whole face black? Ba, 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 all of that. And I say the same thing I said about my chest and my stomach and stuff. Now, it's not going to be a full blackout. I'm keeping some stuff. So, like, the filigree is getting blacked out. The rose is getting darkened. I don't know what would lead people to think that, really. Like, when the black is in the same exact shape as the filigree, you'd think if we were going to black out my head, you'd just trash it with black. It would be faster, easier, and actually less painful too, because of the more consistent needle groupings. No need to change and line and get in different crevices and stuff. I've got some font there that we didn't cover over, so all of that is a little more complicated. If I was just going to be blacking it out, we would have just run it all over with a 27 mag or a 23 SE mag or whatever else. Wouldn't make sense to maintain what's there now if we were just going to turn around and black it out. No, I'm not blacking out my head. As I've said in the earlier videos, I want to darken up this guy. He needs to be quite a bit darker so that he fits. Even just my old suit, I would have still darkened him because he's quite light. It's a little depressing. But again, I wasn't bald for quite a while, and when you've got hair, you can't always tell what's going on your head tattoos. So yeah, could just be a case of too much sun or whatever. Maybe head tattoos just need a second pass. I mean, you'd have to ask someone who's worn them for long enough, I guess. But yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention was I didn't answer one question from my last Q&A that I meant to, and that was someone asked me, "Do you even feel pain anymore?" And yeah, no, I still feel pain. I feel pain probably more than I used to in some places because I've tattooed it so much. Some of my skin is incredibly scarred from multiple passes, or even sometimes ink is put in wrong and it can chew your skin up a bit, and that can cause scarring. So I've got lots of heavy scar, and that always hurts to go over. So if anything, my answer would be that it probably hurts more than it used to. But with heightened pain, also there's heightened comprehension of pain. Oftentimes people think it must be either that I'm immune to pain or that I have some trick, like a meditative trick to hide from the pain or something. There's no hiding that goes on. In fact, even in some weaker tattoo appointments, some easier tattoo appointments, I rather than trying to hide from the pain, I mean, if I ever did that, I think that's where I'm just about ready to tap out, and I've never done that. Rather than try and ignore it or pretend it's not real or go somewhere to get away from it mentally, I actually feel it a little more. I sometimes I'll focus in on the feeling and there's this weird kind of telling yourself it's not actually that bad. It's just it's hot and it's a bit sharp, but it's not actually that bad. Like there's sometimes a lot of logic that goes into truly experiencing the pain. That's where I go when I get into um, super painful tattoos. I go to feeling the pain full on, embracing it and holding it, and also knowing that you're stronger than this and you're going to get through it because you have time and time again, um, and knowing that this is one session along the road of multiple sessions, week after week after week. This is literally just like breathing to me now. And so, what happens if you stop breathing, right? The journey ends if I quit on it. So, there's a lot of mental kind of fortitude, or a lot of sort of marathon running mentally for me. Like this tattoo appointment, if it's the worst one I have, um, there's going to be another bad one next week. So you get used to it. You have to. Um, you don't start projects like I have and then give up on them, or feel the pain and then run from it. Like I always see these people, they'll get like they'll get, say, their chest outlined and then they never get it finished. And it's not that I'm looking down on it. It's that if that were me, I would feel ashamed or disappointed in myself for giving up on something that I started, much like anything else, right? Like if I gave up on this piercing apprenticeship, like if I didn't give it an honest try and I didn't see what's at the end of it, if I just gave up on it, I would also be disappointed in myself. It's a very similar thing to me. This is a pursuit like any other that you're passionate about, and these things cost. Some things in life cost money, and some things in life cost pain, and that's just the way I look at it. Whatever this takes is what I will do. And that doesn't matter how painful it is. If you increase the pain of my next appointment, so we'll back up. If you were to tell me before I went in next week for my next appointment that it was going to hurt 5 times as bad as the last one, I would still go, and I would still be happy to go, because this work needs to be done. In my mind, it's not like optional for me. It's not something I can pass on. Go, yeah, it's all right. That sounds terrible. I'm gonna sit that out. No, I don't think that way about it. It's to me, it's like if you don't feed yourself, you'll die. Like you'll eventually starve. So for me, this is not as important as eating, but it's along those lines. It's like someone who works out every day. They just have to keep going, you know? It's part of their routine. It's part of their fitness regimen or whatever. This is me at the gym, doing the work on my body. I don't know when that ends. People ask me all the time now, how much longer till you're finished? And my honest answer has never changed. I don't think I'm going to be finished. I can't imagine being finished, because as approaching completion on one project, all of a sudden you notice that there's something to fix on another, or you need to touch something up, or something could be better saturated, or it could be crisper or whatever. Like the people who they get their bodysuit done and then they call it quits, like, oh, I did it, it's over now. No, it's not over now, because now there's touch-ups, and now there's things to fix, and there's things that could have been done better that maybe you blast over or blackout or whatever. Like, it's only over if you decide it's over. It's never over because the time is up on the project and there's no space left. That's not the way it works. Not for me, at least. Maybe some people can't wait to be done getting tattooed, but I think that if you're going to be wearing 600 or 700 hours of tattooing, or even more than that in some cases, and you haven't found something to enjoy in the process, I don't know that you should have started it to begin with. Now, that's not me being judgmental about people with a few tattoos. It's just, if you're going to get in as deep as I have, um, and I know other people who have, I think they're going to tell you something similar. That this is almost like ritual, or like, um, yeah, like fitness, right? It's something that you do now, and you don't do it for the reward necessarily. You do it for its own sake. Um, so that's just my opinion on that. It's not mental illness. Some people will probably be, if you listen this far, some people will probably go, "You've got something wrong with you. Why would you want to suffer weekly, every week for the rest of your life?" To that, I would say we suffer every day. If you think that for a second that there won't be hard times or bad days in your future, there will be always. And if anything, this has made it easier for me to deal with pain and upset and sadness and all kinds of things, because you start to realize that everything you take to heart, you truly take to heart that nothing, no matter how bad it is going to last. And then you're going to be out of it and you're going to be happy again. And then the likelihood is that that cycle will repeat until we stop breathing, until there are no more days. The idea that you're suffering now, but it's okay because I won't suffer again. Well, no, you will. So don't think for a second that this is any different than that. You know, I think that it's helped me understand some of my problems earlier in life have become easier to deal with because of what I've done with tattooing and piercing. I feel more in control of a lot of things that used to just kind of seem out of my hands, or like when something would go wrong, sometimes it's, "Oh, woe is me," or whatever, or something like that. I think that this experience and this continual experience has reshaped some of that for me. And I'm actually healthier now than I've ever been in my life. I have a better way of framing life and framing the ups and downs. Say you have a bad day at work, right? But you know, tomorrow's probably going to be a good day. Or say you're fighting with someone that you've known for a long time. Well, unless you burn that house to the ground, chances of that fight lasting aren't great. And before long, you'll be smiling and laughing together. And it doesn't so much trivialize the problem at hand as it reminds you, or you remind yourself almost consciously in hard moments that, yeah, but this will be okay again. And then it won't be, and then we'll resolve that, and then, you know, that's how life is. I think that physical pain is no different than that. And this has been a great thing for me, and continues to be one of the best things I could ever do for myself. So anyway, sorry, I knew this one would be a bit of a long one because I wanted to get a few things off my chest, because a lot of people seem to assume that this is mental illness, or that I've lost my mind or something, and I find myself reiterating the same points often. And again, I don't know how many people who would assume that are going to watch this video anyway, but in case anyone ever stumbles upon this and they end up making it as far as I've gone on about this, this is the best thing I've done for myself personally. Not for my family, or for my son, or for my wife, or professionally, any of that. But for me personally, this has been the most healing, most rewarding thing I could do for myself. And I don't think there's a way I could better get to know myself and be able to reason through daily life any better than this has taught me, or this has helped me. So anyway, sorry, this is a really long one. This is the longest one I think I've done, and I didn't mean to make it quite so long, but I knew it would be weighty. So if you've enjoyed this video or any of my other videos, be sure to follow me on Instagram and share these with your friends. And yeah, I'm Ephemeral Remy. Have a good day.